what's going on, everybody? It's Eat the Hatchet podcast. It's your host, Steve, and tonight we're going to be going over the Blackhawks 5-3 loss over the Vegas Golden Knights. Recording this following the game. This episode's going to air on sometime during the next day on Saturday. So, you got that to look forward to, I guess. But pretty okay showing from the Blackhawks against a team that was, or that is in the top of their division. And the Blackhawks are, I believe, they're still 2 points above last place. So, but you do also have to consider that the Vegas Golden Knights, they didn't really have much to play for except for like self-respect. So, they kind of sat back. They weren't playing 100%, which makes sense. You don't want to injure a guy needlessly trying to squeeze a win out of the Blackhawks when you could kind of play how like they did tonight and get a win anyways, right? So, and we kind of saw that too, where like when it mattered for the Golden Knights to score, they ended up finishing. But, that's the way it goes. So, the big storylines for this game, there was I guess like one or two, and then a cool little fact, I guess. But Ryan Donato, he scored his first career hat trick, which is amazing. And I ended up taking a celebratory Malört shot, which was a terrible idea, which I am still feeling the effects of, and I'm regretting it pretty heavily. So, yeah. Donato's hat trick. Kevin Korchinski, he was called up from the Rockford Ice Hogs yesterday, I believe, and he didn't make his debut because he did play with the Hawks back in December, but he came back after a long stint with the Ice Hogs. So I thought he had a good game. I'll get more into that. And then Frank Nazar, he had an outstanding game. He just couldn't find the back of the net. And I'll get more into his numbers too, go a little bit more detailed what I liked about Frank tonight. But yeah, I'm not going to go through like a line by line of like all the stats, because that's really boring when it's just one dude just reading off numbers. So I'm going to spare you that. You can thank, or I guess your ears can thank me. But the Blackhawks surprisingly had a 50 Corsi, which means that they own 50% of the shot attempts on the ice. And they had a 58% expected goal share. So of the high quality scoring chances, the Blackhawks had the edge in that over the Golden Knights. And a big part of that was because the Blackhawks defense looked, I don't want to say solid or even good, but for stretches of like a period of time, like they didn't look bad. And you could even check it out on the heat map for the 5-on-5 shot attempts. The Blackhawks pushed the Golden Knights mostly to the right face-off circle. That's where two of the goals came from. And they did let the Golden Knights get into the slot. It wasn't like totally cleared out, but yeah. And then surprisingly, looking at the heat map, the Blackhawks, they got a lot of chances or shot attempts in the slot from the Vegas Golden Knights end of the ice. So a little surprising to see, but yeah, good defensive effort from the Hawks. There's a couple players that I thought did pretty good defensively. But first, I want to start with, I guess I'll start with like their best periods, right? So Blackhawks' best period was the first, where they had a 80% expected goal share and a 38 Corsi. That's pretty good. Second period, not so good. 36 Corsi, 33 expected goal share. And then third period, 38 expected goal share. Third period was a 52 Corsi and a 54 expected goal share. So, yeah. Blackhawks, they started off pretty good and then kind of caught the Vegas Golden Knights a little sleepy. But Ryan Donato, hat trick, it was awesome. He scored 2 goals in the second period, like right away. He started with a goal that was a delayed penalty on the Vegas Golden Knights, and he just buried it. And then his second goal was a beautiful pass from Connor Bedard, and Connor Bedard didn't get credited with assist on Donato's second goal, but he made a great play that actually let me just quickly fact check that because I might be confusing it with yeah. So no, he did get the assist for the third goal. Um, it was, I believe, the first goal that Ryan Donato scored. So let me backtrack. Yeah, the first goal that Donato scored was not, there wasn't an assist credited to Connor Bedard, but he made a really nice play that kind of set everything up for Ilya Mikheyev to get the puck to Ethan Del Mastro and then to Ryan Donato. So yeah, great job on Donato's part. But other than him, obviously nobody scored. It was a 5-3 game. Nazar almost scored. He had 5 scoring chances, 5 shot attempts, and he had overall a great game. And his effort was just outstanding, and it was noticeable. Towards the end of the game, when the Hawks pulled the goalie, Frank Nazar made a outstanding attempt to pretty much stop the Vegas Golden Knight player from scoring, and he did. He did an excellent job of doing that. And throughout the entire game, he was flying, he was fast, he was noticeable. His analytics aren't so great. He had a 35 Corsi. His 55 expected goal share is not bad, but outstanding game from Nazar. I'm going to try to look at some of those clips that he, or put together some clips from this game and maybe put something on my Twitter, but we'll see. But Connor Bedard, I thought he looked good. He had a 68 expected goal share when he was on the ice. A big part of that is because he was playing with Ryan Donato, surprisingly. But he only had 1 shot attempt, and that's just across the board, all strengths. So that was a little surprising. Like, you want to see Bedard shooting the puck more. And he had a 58 Corsi when he was on the ice. And again, Ryan Donato, who I think was kind of really steering the offense tonight. But yeah, for Bedard, you want to see him shooting the puck more. And the problem is like, you saw it tonight where he just kind of gets stuck in the defensive zone. And against a team like the Knights, like, they're going to stifle him. So Artem Levshunov, I thought he looked solid. He did make some mistakes. He made a similar mistake from the last game where he was covering a guy that was already covered by Alex Vlasic, and that led to a dangerous scoring chance. But he was all right. Looking at his numbers, nothing eye popping. I didn't see how many shots or shot attempts that he took. I got it right here. So he had 3 shot attempts, and that's it. No shots on goal. So there you go. And that's at all strengths, too. But, yeah. Kevin Korchinski, he had a 54 Corsi and a 59 expected goal share. So I thought he actually had a decent game. Man, when you watch this guy skate, it's impressive. I've seen it in person before, like up close, and that was because of the AHL All-Star game, and like it's like way more impressive in person. But this dude can skate. I think a lot of fans are doing a disservice by writing him off, and you see on Twitter like people saying like Kyle Davidson should maybe trade him in the off season, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but like draft Matthew Schaefer with if he even gets the number 1 overall pick, right? We don't even know that. But like, don't give up on Korchinski. He's still young. He's a good defenseman. He's going to take time to develop. It takes like 200 games for a defenseman to find their groove in the NHL. And Korchinski is still so young. He was 19 last year, and he played his entire first season in the NHL, 76 games. He missed some because he lost his dad, so like, give him a break. But he did have some mistakes tonight. I believe one of them directly led to a goal. I'm going to have to look back, and I'll be adding that to my game recap at ontapsportsnet.com. But It was a good showing from him. I liked what I saw. Not perfect, but it was good. Wyatt Kaiser, though, I thought he had a solid game. He made some great defensive plays, and you could tell, like, if you just watch him in the defensive zone, it's not to the level of Alex Vlasic, where, and you saw it from Vlasic tonight, where, he's got that reach, right? So you can see Vlasic when he breaks up plays and stuff. For Kaiser, it's a little more subtle. You kind of have to know defense, but he was breaking up plays. I thought he was pretty good on the breakout. He made some solid passes. He was aggressive. He had this really nice reverse hit. I think it was in the first period, and he had an excellent game in my opinion. And he finished with a 54 expected goal share. So that's not bad considering like the Golden Knights scored like 5 times. So yeah. And Spencer Knight, I saw some people on Twitter kind of complaining like oh, it looks like Spencer Knight's not good. Like, come on, guys. He's gonna be okay. He's like, I always have to say with like these kids, like they're still young, and especially with like goaltenders, they take so much time to develop. Knight's going to be okay. And tonight, sure, it wasn't a good night for him. There was, I think, 2 goals that I thought Spencer could have probably saved, and his 8-10 save percentage isn't great, right? He stopped 17 of 21 shots, and Ben Pope had a pretty interesting stat regarding Spencer Knight. I'm trying to look it up, but here it is. So his first 4, and this is from Ben Pope of the Chicago Sun-Times. Knight's first 4 starts with the Blackhawks. He had a .928 save percentage, outstanding. His last 5 starts, .847. So not good, and it wasn't a good one for tonight. But like, do I even want to click and see what people are saying? Yeah. So somebody's saying like, I don't know why they didn't go with Arvid tonight because Knight was bad last game. I'll agree with that. Sure. I don't know why. Like, it doesn't really matter to be honest. So, but yeah. Random notes from the game. Pat Maroon had a excellent chance in the first period. His hands were on display. Almost scored a goal. Man, it's the Malört talking. And then yeah. So that's pretty much it, right? Blackhawks had good defense, and this team is what it is. There's really nothing else to dig into it. There wasn't anything I noticed from Sorensen that I thought was egregious, but it's this team is what it is, right? I'm gonna quickly look at the lines and see if there's anything outstanding. Yeah, Frank Nazar's line kind of got eaten up, so they had a 41 Corsi, and let's see so Bedard's line, and again, because Ryan Donato was doing pretty good, they had a 58 Corsi and a 73 expected goal share, so that's sick. But yeah, that's pretty much for this game. I'm going to have a recap on it sometime tomorrow. You can find that at On Tap Sportsnet. And I kind of wanted to do something too. We'll see how it works. I'm just going to go look at some of the games that were going on tonight. And, I'm not going to read all of them because I don't want to waste your time. That's getting too long. There's a couple I know that I was kind of keeping my eye on, but the Blue Jackets, they like that's a lot of goals. So they beat the Vancouver Canucks in the shootout 7-6. So I'm gonna check the standings too because the Blue Jackets are trying to claw their way back into a playoff position, and the Canadians lost against the Hurricanes 4-1. So that's interesting. The Devils, they got shut out by the Jets. Man, could you imagine if they lost to the Blackhawks? That would be a 5-game losing streak for them by now, I think. And then the Rangers, man, they lost in overtime to the Ducks 5-4. And then, I guess I'll read the last one I didn't read. Panthers overtime winner against Utah. yeah, so there's that. So let's see the standings. And no, I'm not going to read everything because that holy hell, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it looks like the Blue Jackets are in fact in a playoff spot again. They hold the second wild card spot, and this is a team I think every NHL fan is rooting for. So, you know, if you aren't rooting for the Blue Jackets, you're just an asshole. But I want to see Columbus do good considering everything that's happened. It's a good team to watch. So I think everybody is a Columbus fan for the most part, right? But other than that, in the West, nothing's changed. Vancouver is like pretty much playing themselves further and further away. They still sit 4 points out of the wild card spot, but yeah, I don't want to break everything down now. But next game is this Sunday, 3 p.m. Central. Utah is going to be playing in Chicago, so that's fun. And yeah, they're going to be here, so I'll probably have a post game for that one too. We'll see. I don't know. If not, who knows when you'll hear from me next. But it's been fun. Blackhawks, they lose 2 in a row now. So let's see if they can snap a losing streak yet again. Let's go Hawks.